The first question is 1 1/2 plus 2 1/3. Now we have a mixed number here and a mixed number here. You have the whole part and the fraction part. So step 1 is to turn this mixed number into an improper fraction. So we take the big number and multiply it by the bottom number. 1 times 2, and then we add the top number, plus 1. Fraction line, and this denominator stays the same at the bottom. Plus fraction line, we can do the same thing, the big number times the bottom number. 2 times 3 plus the top number, plus 1. And this denominator stays the same at the bottom, 3. Now before we go any further, we need to simplify the top or the numerator in each fraction. So let me do that here. Fraction line, 1 times 2 is 2, plus 1 is 3. And the denominator stays as 2, plus fraction line, 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1 is 7, and then 3 goes at the bottom. So now we have two improper fractions and we need to add them. But we notice that the denominators are different. So we need to find the lowest common multiple to make these two the same. So what I'm going to do is do the 2 times table. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 and so on. And then I'm going to do the 3 times table. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18 and so on. Now if I look at the top list and the bottom list, I need to find the numbers that are common. So I can see there's a 6, there's a 6, and there's a 12, and there's a 12. But I want the lowest common multiple, so I want the smallest number, and it's a 6. Now how do I turn this 2 into a 6? 1, 2, 3. I multiply the 2 by 3 because it's the third number along. That's one way of looking at it. And whatever I do to the bottom number, I do to the top. Now look at the 3. How do I turn that into a 6? 1, 2. I multiply the 3 by 2. And whatever I do to the bottom number, I do to the top number. So let me put the equal sign here. I'm going to concentrate on this fraction. Put my fraction line down. 3 times 3 is 9. 2 times 3 is 6. This plus goes here. And now I'm going to concentrate on this fraction here. So I do my fraction line. 7 times 2 is 14. And 3 times 2 is 6. Now this is easy because both the denominators are the same. So I simply put the 6 there. And I do 9 plus 14 is 23. Now this here is an improper fraction and I want to turn it into a mixed number. So what I do is I do the 6 times table up to but not past 23. So let me do that here. 6, 12, 18, 24. So that's gone past. So I've got 1, 2, 3 lots of 6 in 23. So I put the big 3 down. And I've used 18 and I had 23. So that means I've got 5 left. So the 5 goes at the top as the remainder. And this 6, because I'm putting them into groups of 6, goes at the bottom. So 23 sixths is equal to 3 5/6. So I can say 1 1/2 plus 2 1/3 equals 3 5/6. Now there's lots of ways of doing this. You could have added the 1 and the 2 to get 3 wholes, and then you could have added the half and the third separately. But I prefer to do it this way because it keeps all the working out together really neatly. The next question is 1 1/4 take away 1/5. So we have a mixed number and a proper fraction. So the first step is to turn the mixed number into an improper fraction. So we do the big number times the bottom number, 1 times 4, add the top number, plus 1. Fraction line, and this 4 stays the same at the bottom. Minus 1/5. Now we need to simplify this fraction before we go further. So we've got our fraction line. 1 times 4 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So we have 5, and the 4 stays the same. So we have 5/4 take away 1/5. Now if we notice, the denominators or the bottom numbers are different, and we need to make them the same. We need to find the lowest common multiple. So I'm going to do the 4 times table. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and so on. And we're going to do the 5 times table, because this is a 5. 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on. Now if I look at this list and this list, I can see 20 is the lowest common multiple. Now I need to turn this 4 into a 20. And because I know my 5 times table, I know 4 times 5 is 20. Whatever I do to the bottom number, I do to the top number. So I multiply the top number by 5. I need to turn this 5 into a 20, so I multiply the 5 by 4, and whatever I do to the bottom number, I do to the top number. So I'm going to look at this fraction first. Put my fraction line down. 5 times 5 is 25. 4 times 5 is 20. Minus fraction line, and now I'm looking at this fraction here. 1 times 4 is 4. 5 times 4 is 20. Now these two denominators are the same, so it's easy. I just put the denominator here, 20. 25 take away 4 is 21. Now this is an improper fraction because the numerator is bigger than the denominator. So I can turn this into a mixed number. So I've got 21, and how many groups of 20 can I make? I can make one group of 20, and I have a remainder of 1. So the remainder goes at the top, and this 20 goes at the bottom here. So I can say 1 1/4 take away 1/5 equals 1 1/20. My third question is 2 1/6 times 1 and 1/3. Now this is a mixed number and this is a mixed number, and I need to turn them into improper fractions. It's the big number times the bottom number. 2 times 6. Add the top number, plus 1. Fraction line, and this denominator stays the same, so the bottom number is a 6. This times goes here. And the same thing here. 1 times 3. 1 times 3 plus 1. Plus 1. And the denominator stays the same. Now I'm going to simplify this fraction first. 2 times 6 is 12 plus 1 is 13. And this denominator stays the same, so the 6 goes to the bottom. The times comes down. 1 times 3 is 3 plus 1 is 4. And the 3 goes to the bottom. Now you've got two fractions and you're multiplying, so you multiply straight across. You multiply straight across. 13 times 4 is 52. And 6 times 3 is 18. Now what I can do is simplify this first. So I can see they're both even numbers, so I can divide the numerator by 2, and whatever I do to the numerator, I do to the denominator. So 52 divided by 2 is 26. 18 divided by 2 is 9. Now I can turn this into a mixed number. How many 9s are there in 26? So I do the 9 times table. 9, 18, 27, 36 and so on. I've only got 26, so I've only got 1, 2, because 27 is too much. So the big 2 goes there. I've used 18, but I had 26. So I have a remainder of 8. And this 9 stays the same at the bottom. So how many 9s in 26? There's 2. 1, 2. And that's the big 2. And then the remainder is 8. So that goes at the top. And this 9 stays the same. So 26 9ths is 2 and 8 9ths. So I can say 2 and 1/6 times 1 and 1/3 equals 2 and 8 9ths. My fourth question is 1 and 1/6 divided by 1/2. Now I need to turn this into an improper fraction. So it's the big number times the bottom number. 1 times 6. Add the top number, plus 1. And the 6 stays the same at the bottom here. And then I've got divided by 1/2. Now I'm going to simplify this fraction here. So 1 times 6 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So I have 7/6 divided by 1/2. Now what I like to do is put concrete over this so it does not move, it stays the same. So the first fraction stays the same. The divide turns into a times, and I flip the second fraction. So the 2 goes to the top and the 1 comes to the bottom. 2 goes to the top and the 1 comes to the bottom. Now if you notice, I've got two fractions and I'm multiplying, and I always multiply straight across. So I have 7 times 2 is 14, and 6 times 1 is 6. So let me simplify this before turning it into a mixed number. They're both even numbers, so I can divide the numerator by 2 and the denominator by 2. Remember, these two numbers have to be the same. So 14 divided by 2 is 7. 6 divided by 2 is 3. How many 3's are there in 7? There's 2 lots of 3's, so that's the big 2. Remainder 1, and the remainder goes at the top, and this 3 goes to the bottom. So 7/3 is equal to 2 1/3. 1 1/6 divided by 1/2 is 2 1/3. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe and pass on the message, because it all helps the channel grow.